Hi, my name is Nicola Bowen. I'm 41 years old and a mother of two and a wife to my husband Kevin. So I have two children. My oldest is Josh. He is 17 years old and my daughter is Jasmine. She's just turned 14. So I had my children quite young. I had a few health problems. I wasn't really sure if I could have children or if I could, how long it would take. And I was settled in our relationship. I was lucky that we managed to buy our first house when we were quite young. And so I decided just to go for it, that we both, as soon as you're told you can't have something, you sometimes want that more than anything. And I really wanted to be a mum. I didn't want to be a mum necessarily at 24 years old, but I was settled in my relationship. We were both working. We were by no means rich. We were both young. We didn't have that great wages. But back then it was so much easier to start on the housing market here in the UK. So that's what we did, and luckily it didn't take me too long to fall pregnant. I had endometriosis, but it was on the left side of my pelvic wall, so not too close to my womb, and they said that the best thing I could do to help that heal and to stop the problems I was having was to actually have children, and it worked. It did work. So that's a bit about me. So there is myself, my husband, and my two children living in our house. So what was my first exposure to Younique? Well, the first time I heard about Younique was, and the first product I heard of was actually their mascara. So I forgot to say, I've been with the company now just over a year and a half, and I'm currently a blue status presenter. So my first exposure was one New Year's Eve. We were at a friend's house for a party, and the children were there too. And so I guess my daughter was about 12 then. Yeah, so just turned 12, and you know, starting to experiment with makeup. And I went upstairs, see how the girls were getting on, and my daughter was playing with one of my friend's daughters. I say playing, they were using makeup, and we walked in and she showed me this mascara she was using, you know, said it was really great, and I've always loved makeup. So I had a look at it and never seen anything quite like it before, because at that point it came in a case. There were two tubes rather than one. And she showed me sort of briefly, you know, what it was like, and I thought, oh, I definitely need to try that. You know, I always like to try all the new trends and new products. So, you know, I went home, I think it was probably a few weeks, and I thought, oh, mascara, I need to try and, you know, look that up. So Googled the brand, you know, like you do, first things, put it in Google, and so many other different websites come out. I wasn't really sure how it worked. So they seemed to relate to different people's websites, and I wasn't sure who I was buying from. So didn't end up doing anything about it. And then I forget how long later, I think it was probably a good month or so later, that I saw a girl that I used to go to school with pop up on Facebook. So I'm friends with her on Facebook, and saw pop up that she was selling this mascara. So I thought, great, you know, that's someone I know, someone I can trust. So messaged her and said, gotta try this mascara. And she sent me a link. I purchased straight away from that, received the product and fell in love. You know, I've never used anything quite like this before. I've got really fair, quite short lashes, and when I tried this, I was like, wow, this is a great product. Great product, great company, great service, you know, that I got, received it quite quickly. And so that was it, just, you know, continued using the mascara. Didn't really know that there was a whole range of products. When I went on, I literally just brought the mascara, didn't look at anything else. So anyway, time went on, so I guess it was another probably a couple of months later, and then I saw that Younique, my sponsor and my friend, had then put a post on looking for for people to join the company, so for other people to become presenters, ambassadors for the brand. And she was looking for people that were self-motivated, you know, hardworking, and wanted to earn some extra cash, really. Well, at that point in my life, I was again having more health problems. It all started, I guess it was about 4 years ago now, and it happened very, very quickly. Just one evening, I suddenly felt really quite unwell, but couldn't really put a finger on it. It wasn't, you know, a sore throat or a headache or, you know, an earache. I just didn't feel quite right, really. And I remember it really clearly. It was a Saturday night, 9-ish, I suppose, you know, getting towards the end of sort of the evening. And I was laying on the sofa and suddenly started to feel really, really ill, really odd. And to cut a long story short, my hands, suddenly everything went really stiff. My hands just twisted in. I couldn't turn them or straighten them out. My neck became really, really painful, and I couldn't move it around without pain. I tried to stand and I couldn't walk. I had 2 huge swellings come up at the back of both knees. I was in a lot of pain and was just overwhelmed, I think, really. I had no idea what was just happening to my body. Stupidly, now when I look back, I dealt with it in the wrong way, really. I think the children were in bed, kids were in bed, it was getting late. I couldn't, no way, drive myself to A&E. I didn't want to bother people, and I just thought, oh, I'll just sleep it off. I'm sure it'll go in the morning. But actually, inside, I was petrified about what was happening. And so I just got into bed and tried to think, oh, this'll go. I'll wake up and I'll be absolutely fine. I didn't sleep for quite a while, I must admit. I lay there really worried about what was happening. So when I got up in the morning, not a lot had changed. The swelling in the back of my knees was a little bit better, but I hadn't got the full use of my hands. And my hair was greasy, it was a mess. So got myself in the shower, tried to turn the shower on, and just couldn't do it properly with my hands. Got myself in a bit of a state and thought, this is not normal, I really need to get myself to the doctors. So it was Sunday, obviously, it was out of hours. I'd already been suffering with back problems as well leading up to that, and I'd got an appointment the next day, on Monday, with a senior physiotherapist, which happened to be in the rheumatology department. I shouldn't have looked into that, really, because what happened is I went to the doctor. My temperature was up. They were really quite concerned about what was going on. And I stupidly said, oh, I've got an appointment tomorrow in the rheumatology department. Not really explaining properly that actually it was a physio appointment for a back. It wasn't seeing a rheumatologist necessarily. And they said, okay, I think, you know, you're going to the right place, is all they said. If you weren't going there, then I think we need to send you there as soon as. So I went home, I just took painkillers, I went to the physio appointment the next day, and I was in a bit of a mess. Things still weren't right. I really felt unwell, and I still couldn't really tell you why. I'd got a bit more use in my hands, but they were painful. And the physio, I broke down, really. It was stupid. I was going in about my back and kind of ended up telling her all about this. And I think she was thought I was going a bit bonkers. But she called in a rheumatologist just to check my hands, and just said, oh, you know, it's fine, you know, we're treating for your back. I don't think they were particularly interested. And so I had some x-rays and arranged some appointments for my back pain, and that was it. But things really weren't good. And so I then went to my actual GP and spoke to her. She ran lots of blood tests, which came back with high inflammatory markers. So they explained to me that although they haven't found that these aren't particular to any specific thing, that they showed that something was happening in my body at the moment, that the inflammation was high. Diagnosed me, said that I had that they were Baker's cysts, they were on the back of my knees. Gave me some anti-inflammatory tablets, and referred me properly to a rheumatologist. I then don't remember how. Actually, she referred me, that's it, but luckily that I had private insurance through my husband's work at that point, and so she said, use it, don't hang around, it's going to be quite a few months, why don't you use it? So I got the appointment quite quickly at the rheumatologist. He ran, so this is privately, he ran some blood tests, and then I remember him calling and explaining that actually what he'd found in my blood was the parvovirus, which is also known as slap cheek, and is mainly what children get. So when they get, literally looks like their cheeks have been slapped. It's a viral thing, but that unfortunately it can trigger like an autoimmune response, and can trigger like a temporary arthritis. And so this is what he thought was happening, that it was just a temporary thing where my body had started, immune system had started attacking itself rather than helping itself, and that had triggered this sort of allergic response to my in my body. So I then had other medication and was sent backwards and forwards to him, and he was just still adamant that that's what was in my blood first, that's what had caused it, and that one day it would go. So forward a year to that, and a year later it still hadn't gone, and I still didn't have a diagnosis other than that it was the parvovirus. And it's like, you Google things, it's been a long time, and I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't in a great place. I was really struggling with fatigue, with pain, and thinking, what the hell has just happened to my body? I was like a completely different person. So yeah, a year later I went for my appointment, which by then I had run out of insurance. I couldn't use it any longer. I had to go back to the NHS. And the department, however great our NHS is, and we're so grateful for it in the UK, it was in a bit of a mess. There were long waits. So I was there that day to see my rheumatologist, who I always see, and he was running really, really far behind. So it was coming up for an hour, I think, and I still hadn't gone in. And I knew he was there because I kept seeing coming in and out with other patients, and I was still sat there. And then a lady came to the door, another doctor, and called me in. I sort of said, oh no, sorry, I'm waiting to see Dr. Schenker. And she was like, no, that's fine. He knows I'm seeing you, come through. So I was a bit sort of, wasn't really sure what was happening. But anyway, she was a registrar. Whether she was there because he was running so far behind and he'd asked for her help, I don't know. I really don't know. But she had been advised about what had been happening. She'd given my notes, and she had also got another student with her. I didn't really understand, to be honest, what a registrar is. I thought that maybe was someone higher up, but actually it was someone who was still in some form of training in that department under Dr. Schenker. So she was great. I think she was quite shocked that I'd been seeing him for a year and still hadn't got a clear diagnosis. And she took loads of tests. She spent so much time with me. She explained every single little thing. I think it was probably for the purpose of the student rather than myself, but it did really, really help. And she sent off some x-rays, which is something that he hadn't done either. And then sat me down and said, right, I think I know what this is. You have got undifferentiated connective tissue disease. And these often overlap between two diseases, and yours is an overlap of rheumatoid arthritis and lupus. And although I was really quite pleased to have a diagnosis and thinking, right, oh, I'm not going mad, there really is something wrong, to obviously being really shocked, especially of the scary diagnosis of lupus, knowing how dangerous that is. And that day I'd gone to the hospital on my own. My back was in pain, I was in pain. I didn't want to make a fuss, and so I'd got the bus that day because I wasn't in a fit state to drive a car. So I'd got a bus, and when I was on my own, and I just remember coming home on that bus and just pretty much crying the whole way home. Some of it being relief to knowing what was wrong, and some, you know, in just shock, I guess. So to move things forward, so I'm not left stuck here listening to me go on and on and on. So what happened is that because she was a registrar, something went wrong. She didn't notify anyone of what she just told me. She didn't write me a letter. She didn't write my GP a letter. It was like that just didn't happen. And then suddenly I go back to rheumatology, to my normal rheumatologist. And I was really fed up then of being passed around to different doctors, because in between that I also saw 2 other rheumatologists who, let's just say, weren't very understanding, because I hadn't always got the swellings and the things happening at that point. They said some really awful things, including me taking some photos in and them telling me that it looked like I'd held something against my knee. It actually broke my heart to think that a doctor could ever say that to someone. And I just wanted the continuity of knowing that I was going to see one doctor all the time, because I could not cope with all these various different opinions of what was happening with my body. So I went back privately and paid to see my rheumatologist, original rheumatologist, privately. He didn't agree with what his registrar had said, and then at that point diagnosed me with rheumatoid arthritis. So why does this get me onto Younique? Well, I've always been a really independent person. I've always wanted my own business. I don't have a rich family who have been able to, you know, start me up with a salon. I had my children young, and I've always said that they were my main priority. But inside my head, I've always wanted to work for myself. I've always wanted more for myself. I've always been quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Determined, tenacious, and this was a time where I was really struggling with work, and I wanted more. I wanted more for my family. I wanted more for myself. And yet here I am, you know, struggling with what wasn't even full-time hours at that point. So I cut down some hours at work so that I was able to rest, because working, coming in, you know, dealing with just family life, looking after a house, children, dinners. When I came home from work, I was comatose. I couldn't move. I would sit down and it was like my body was shutting down. It couldn't cope with the pace of things. And so this is where I saw my sponsor now, Younique's post asking for people, and I thought, wow, I can do this. I didn't tell you about my background or my job currently. So I come from a beauty background, so I've always worked in salons. my next step, had I not decided to have children young, would have definitely been to have owned my own salon one day, you know, whether that was a mobile business or a salon. That was ultimately what I always wanted to do. I remember writing, you know, business plans out, but you know, it takes a lot of money to start these things up, and I just hadn't got it. And then when I had my second child, Jasmine, I was struggling again with childcare. You know, it doesn't work out worth working by the time you've paid out for 2 lots of childcare. So it was then that I decided to retrain as a teaching assistant, so that I could have term times, work term times only, and not have to struggle to in the holidays to find someone to look after my children. So that was my situation. Sorry, this is all over the place, isn't it? I hope this makes sense. So yeah, when I saw that post, I thought, I can do this. You know, I've got a beauty background. I love makeup. I used to do a lot of wedding makeups when I worked in the centre of Cambridge. I used to do a lot of the balls, the midsummer, the college balls, and weddings. Loved makeup. Never necessarily thought I was that great at it, but I loved it, and I was good at my job, my beauty therapist job. And so when I heard that this was mainly social media based and done online, I thought, great, this could be something that could supplement my income. I can work as a TA in the mornings. I cut down, so I was working 5 mornings. So I was finishing at lunchtime, and thought, however poorly and tired I feel, if I need to bring in extra income, I can come home and sit with my feet up on the sofa, and I can work that way. And so that's what I did. I didn't really think about it at all. I literally saw that post. I asked a couple of really brief questions, and it gave me the link. It's £69. You know, what is £69? I know there are people that can't afford £69, and I completely understand that. But, you know, some people would spend that on a night out. They'd spend that on an outfit, on a bag, you know, on a pair of shoes, or on a meal. And this was on a business. So I encourage you, if you're listening to this and thinking this is for you, but you can't afford it, then find a way. If you're serious about changing your circumstances, but you haven't got the money, then sell anything you can. You will get it back very quickly, and it will really be worth your while. So yeah, I clicked join pretty quick. £69, bam, done. And I have never looked back. It's honestly the best thing I've ever done. This allows you to build a business, a complete business, not just little old you as a little hobby earning a few extra pounds. This can be as big or as small as you want it, and that's what I love about this, are the choices and the opportunities you can get from it, completely fit in around anyone's lifestyle. Do you have to have hours to spend on it like I do? You know, I was in a situation where I was finishing at lunchtime. No. Most people, in fact, that do this, that are successful at this, have had full-time jobs. They have 2 or 3, 4 young children. No, you don't have to have a lot of time to be able to do this. It's about working smart, and you can work in really small, you know, 15-minute slots a couple of times a day. It's all you need. So when I first joined, I mean, I really went full throttle with it. I was really, really excited about it. I didn't really know what I'd got into, to be honest. My kit arrived. I was really excited about this. I was already passionate that this mascara was great, and I wanted to tell everyone about it. And that's what I did. You know, I went on my social media, and I wasn't someone that posted a lot. I'm also a really shy person. I've struggled with self-confidence. I've struggled with worrying what people think of me, and someone that almost felt like they had to change their personality between different sets of people and friends. And that wasn't because I'm a false person by any means. It's because I simply find it hard to start conversations. I never know what to say to people. I end up like mixing my words up and just feeling really stupid, and I don't find it easy to communicate and meet new friends. And for that reason, I didn't have a large group of friends. I had good friends, but it was just a small group, and it's all I felt I needed. I was happy with that amount of friends. You know, I'm the sort of person that if I was out and about on a street and I saw someone, even if I liked that person, this is how bad it was, but I would think, oh, I don't know what to say, they're coming towards me, don't know what to say. I would just either go the other way on purpose, or I'd just say hi and then just head down, because I just didn't know what to say. You know, mums at the school would get there early so they could stand around in their little groups chatting. I was pretty much always the one that stood on my own, or got there so late that I could literally grab my child and run, because I didn't know what to say to people. But it wasn't because I didn't want friends, and it wasn't because I was stuck up, which I know that shyness can come across that way. And I know that people probably thought that I was stuck up, that I maybe thought I was too good to speak to certain groups of people, and they couldn't be further than the truth. I'd have loved to have been the one that was in that group of chatty friends that were, you know, making arrangements to go out. But that wasn't me. I wasn't depressed about it. I wasn't sad about it. I just got on with it. And I kept myself to myself. And I was happy with the friends I got. So for me to start doing what I thought was sales, I am not a salesperson. You know, one, because I'm not confident and chatty and got the, you know, the gift of the gab and chat to everyone. So I am not a sales lady. But if I'm passionate and I like a product, then I can share it, and I would advise people to use it. And that just came naturally to me. As working as a beauty therapist, I worked with various different ranges, including Dermalogica, which I absolutely loved. I saw the difference it made to people's skin. I loved using it myself. And so when I would be doing facials and doing beauty treatments, I wouldn't think twice about saying, you've got to try this product. Let me recommend you these products. If you go away and use these, it will make a difference. I found that natural because it was truthful. I was telling the truth. I wasn't having to stand there and going, this product's amazing. Actually, it was absolute pile of poo. So I can only share if I believe in a product. And boy, do I like Younique products. It's definitely a case of, I don't like saying sell. I don't consider myself a sales lady even now. But it's definitely a case of, I sell this because I love it. I don't love it because I sell it. I don't have to pretend I love it to make myself sell it. It's completely the other way around. So when I first made that post on Facebook saying, girls, this mascara is absolutely brilliant, you've got to try this, I really wanted you to try it. You know, I loved it and I wanted everyone to try it out. You were mad if you hadn't tried it. Everyone needs a good mascara. And so I wanted you to try it. And so that's all I did. And people trusted me and they liked the product and they bought it. And then I knew that I had to carry on doing this, and I had to post more on Facebook, and that wasn't easy. And why it wasn't easy is because I still cared and worried too much about what people thought of me. I didn't have as the business grew a little bit, and I started recommending other products, recommending them because once I tried that mascara and I kept trying other bits, I was like, surely soon there's going to be something. I'm going to try something soon. I'm going to think, that's awful. I won't be recommending that. Well, I can honestly say in the whole range, there is one product that I have never recommended to anyone. Now, that's actually even really bad, because just because I don't like it doesn't mean that someone else will. I know there are people that like it, so that's really bad. I shouldn't do that. But I didn't feel confident sharing it, and I couldn't sit there and say, this is really great, try this, because I didn't think it was, so I just never mentioned it. So any product that I mention and I sit here and say that I love. I use all the products, every single one of them. And they're all fantastic. But as the business started to evolve and I was posting more and more, I was aware of not getting the support that I expected to have. And I guess that's wrong. I shouldn't expect it. But I like to think that as a good friend, as my friends and family would trust me and know that if I was passionate about something and I was happy and enjoying something, then they would support me back. And that didn't happen. And I really found that really hard. I really took that to heart, you know. So I'd speak to my mum and a close friend and my husband and go, what's wrong with people? Why aren't they liking? And by support, I no means meant that you've suddenly got to go on my website and spend hundreds of pounds or even spend anything. By support, I meant people asking me, oh, you know, how's this? What is it you're doing? How's this business going? What is it? Or liking my pictures, commenting, oh, I'll have to try this. Or just, I mean, support that you would give anyone that you cared about, or at least I thought I would. If someone you know starts a business, a clothes shop, a cake business, a catering business, and they are your friend and family, you know, and they open a restaurant, or they get a new job, it's like, oh, congratulations, well, you know, well done, and I'm going to come and check it out. When can we come in and have a look around? When can I eat at your restaurant? No, didn't get that. Got ignored. Didn't get likes, didn't get comments. And then what was weird, I'd post maybe something more personal, you know, a picture of my family or what I was doing that day, and bang, there would go my normal, just Facebook, friends and family liking my stuff. Post about my business, I won't say nothing. I was getting response. It wasn't from the response who I thought I was be getting it from. And then I start to hear things like, oh, so-and-so said she's had to unfollow you. In fact, she's just unfriended you because your posts are getting on her nerves. And then someone passing a comment to someone else, what's going on with Nicola? Has she joined some pyramid scheme or something? I was really, really hurt by this. I really took it quite badly. But I've never been very good at being told what to do, and all it's done is fuel my fire. I can see the bigger picture in this, and although I didn't see it to start with, and not many people do, as I started to understand the ethics, the morals, the vision of the company, and the fact that they're a mission-based company, my passion for the business and for the company just grew and grew and grew. And I am putting everything I can into this business because I can see the bigger picture, and it is big. And so whether I'm getting support from friends or family members, I don't care. I don't care. And you won't believe how refreshing it is to suddenly feel like you don't care what people think of you anymore. Those people aren't paying my bills. those people will not make me grow as a person. If those people can't bring it in, find it in themselves to like and encourage me in something that I really enjoy and love, then I don't really want those people in my life. And I mean, that may sound really, really hard, but it's the truth. It's the truth. And unfortunately, or say unfortunately, this year I have made some changes to my friends. I have distanced myself from people because as a person, I have grown. This business has helped me grow as a person, and that is what this is all about. It's so much more than mascara. It's so much more than makeup. And if I can help to share this business with anyone who I think it would benefit, whether that's financial benefit, whether that's benefiting them, growing as a person, growing in self-confidence, then I will continue to share that. And I don't care what people think of me. I understand it, and if they are ignorant and they don't choose to ask me for an explanation of what's happening or look it up, then they can continue to be ignorant about it as far as I'm concerned. I do wish I, however, had maybe educated people more. I wish I'd reached out to people more and said, look, because I do understand why people are judgmental of it, and I do understand why people thought I was maybe involved in some dodgy pyramid scheme. After, I don't know how long, but not many weeks into it, when I started to understand how it worked, I thought I was in a pyramid scheme. My husband thought I was in a pyramid scheme. But it couldn't be further than the truth. This is direct selling, it's multi-level marketing, it is completely legal, and it's actually such a wonderful business to be a part of. So to explain it a little bit and to explain why people think there's something dodgy in this. One, pyramid schemes are illegal and have been for a long, long time. And pyramid schemes don't actually have products or websites or people becoming millionaires or people becoming, and well, in fact they do, but they're all at the top. So let me explain it a little bit. Pyramid scheme, so think of your pyramid shape, is when you've got very few at the top and you've got lots at the bottom. You can put this into any business, shop work, big companies, any business is like a pyramid. Tesco's, education, at the bottom you've got on the lowest pay, you've got the cleaners and the lunchtime supervisors, and then all the TAs, and then all the teachers, and then it gradually goes up. You've got your senior management, and you've got your deputy, and then you've got your head. Oh look, it's a pyramid. Who earns the most money? The one at the top. Who earns the least money? All the ones at the bottom. Now that's what a lot of people think of as a pyramid. That isn't a pyramid. A pyramid scheme is when someone high up sells something, and actually it's not usually a physical product either, for a fair amount of money. Those people then sell it on for more because they haven't made much. Those people have to sell it on for even more, otherwise they wouldn't make much. And it gradually gets more and more expensive as it goes on, and you end up with a worthless product that's cost you a lot of money. This isn't that. This is not that at all. We have physical products. We have amazing products. I like to think of the quality of MAC, the ethics of Bare Minerals. They're top ingredients. These are not cheap products. They're cruelty-free. We have lots of vegan-friendly products. There's no nasties in any of our products. They're natural-based. I could talk about them all day long, but I won't right now. So what you can earn from this is unlimited. You get out what you put in. There are no catches in this at all anywhere. I've been a year and a half. I've never paid out for anything but my kit unless I personally want to go and buy myself a product, which I also get at a discount. There are no catches, you know, and where can you go and start a business for £69? You know, think of the premises costs, of the staff costs, of the material costs, of the running of the place. You know, you can't do that. And that's why this business doesn't work for everyone, because people don't take it seriously, and that is fine. If you want to buy this kit and run because all you wanted was a bargain of products, then that's fine. Buy the kit, disappear, nothing will ever happen. Your website and your account will just go inactive and no one will say a word. So that's the first option. The second option is to buy the kit, and as well as getting because you get your commission back on the stuff that you buy from your website, yes, you get that discounted. Some people love makeup and want to get it cheaper, so you just buy a few products for yourself and you never tell anyone else about it. You're just a bargain hunter. Next option, you buy the kit, you want to buy some products, and you might mention it to your mum and your sister and your auntie and a couple of friends, and we call that a hobbyist. You might do it as a little hobby. Love makeup. Oh, going to buy that this month. Do you want to buy that? This is really good, etc. Or you can run this like a part-time business. You can run it like a full-time business, and the income you can make is limitless, completely limitless. Now, when I was introduced the fact that I could actually get myself my own little business here, so as in not in me, as in me employing people, if you like, although I'm not because I don't pay them, to work for me. So had I have set up a beauty salon and it had done really well, I'd have needed staff. I would have interviewed them, I would have picked the staff that I wanted, and I would be paying them to work in my business. All right? How this works is I love these products. I can see the difference and the benefit it's given me. I've had extra income. I can work from my sofa. I choose my own hours. If I'm sick, I don't have to call in. I can do it when I like. I can treat my family. And so that was my first why. Why did I want to do it? I wanted to do it to earn a little bit of extra income, to feel like I could give something and contribute to our family's income, but still that fitting around family life and my health concerns as well. So I'm introduced to the fact that I can grow a business, and I think, oh, how does that work? Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Because I've found something really special that works for me. So when I see people saying, oh, had to miss my daughter's choir performance, or my son's nativity play, or my daughter's sports day because I couldn't get the time off work, or I'm sick. I'm in a few groups on Facebook who have the same illnesses and disease as me, and we chat, and I see people there who are struggling. They're not ill enough that they can't get disability and sick pay, and they're struggling financially because of the illnesses. So you've got parents, or you've got business-minded women who are already working full-time. And by the way, this is the people that are most successful, not the ones that are sitting around, twiddling their funds, wasting their hours away, wanting to be rich, but actually not wanting to do anything about it, just hoping that they win the lottery one day. Those are not the people this really works for. This is hard work. The more you put in, the more you get out. This is not, by any means, and I would never sell it to anyone like this, a get-rich-quick scheme. But if you are motivated and you want this, this can completely, and I've seen it to my upline, change their lives. And it's starting to change mine now. And I will continue to share this with everyone because it can help other people. So that is why I'm bringing other people into my business and sharing it with them, because I see them in various situations and I want to help. I've always loved helping people. That's always been in my nature. That's why I chose, it was either between teaching for me or beauty therapy. You're like a bit of a counsellor when you're a beautician, I guess, like when you're a hairdresser or any sort of caring job in that way, a nurse, you know, that you're listening to people's problems, you're helping them with their aches and pains, their bad skin, their confidence. And I've always loved building people up and making people feel better. And this is what I'm getting from this. I am offering people the opportunity because I think I can help that person too. And what's great is I don't pay them. Younique pay them exactly the same as they pay everyone else, dependent on how hard they work. And they pay me too. How great is that? So everyone gets paid, no one is missing out. And that extra bit that they pay me for having a team is because I am mentoring them. I am their mentor. When you start this business, there is so much to learn. It's a complete minefield. It's different to anything. If you haven't been in marketing, multi-level marketing, direct sales before, it's a completely new industry to understand. And in mentoring, it is my job to help them. I'm there for them to message me whenever they want. I train them, you know, what's great, what's not so good, what they should avoid doing, that we're not a salesy company, we're not like that. And that's what they're paying me for. You know, there's nothing weird about it. And you are only successful in this company if you help others. So there is nothing dodgy, nothing horrible that I'm a part of. I'm part of a wonderful company whose mission, and they're, you know, a mission-based company, is to uplift, empower and validate women. And when I first started, you know, those words didn't really mean an awful lot to me, and I thought, oh, that's a bit weird. And it's so true. It's exactly what it does. You know, we support the Younique Foundation, which is a foundation that supports women who have been sexually abused as children. There is so much good coming out of this business, whether you're buying products, whether you're a presenter, you're doing so much for women in all sorts of different ways. And the confidence that I have gained from this is, I can't tell you. I feel so much better as a person. I didn't really know where I fitted in. I didn't really know who I was, to be honest. I just knew that I loved helping people and that I wanted something more. And I finally found something that I'm truly passionate about, that I can get involved in, that doesn't mean I have to financially get into difficulty by borrowing money. I don't need any money. I can build this from scratch, from £69. And, you know, I've already have a great team of women, and seeing them grow as people, seeing them, you know, moving from people that didn't want to take photos of themselves, who were so nervous about talking. And don't get me wrong, I'm still so nervous. I wouldn't be normal if I didn't get nervous doing these live videos. If you'd have said to me a year ago that I'd been taking pictures of myself and posting them publicly on the internet, that I'd be doing live videos and standing and giving talks about products in front of people, I couldn't do that. When I started this, I was so nervous. I messed up my words. People must have just thought, what are you on about? Why are you doing this to yourself? But, you know, nothing does grow in a comfort zone. If you want to grow as a person, whether, you know, it's not just financially, whether you want more friends or you just want to become more self-confident and find out who you really are, then this business really can help. And I don't care now what people think of me. I will continue to share these products with people because I know it can help their skin. I know makeup can help you feel more confident. There are women with who suffer awfully from eczema and acne rosacea, who have now found products that it can make them go out with confidence and not have to worry about their skin. I could go on and on about what this can do for you. And so that's why I'm going to share. And I really hope that from sharing this very long, I'm looking at the timer, really long video, that you understand a little bit more about what I'm doing, and that I hope you can support me. And I don't mean you have to buy my products, but if this makes it clearer as to what I'm involved in now and what I'm doing, then I hope you feel like you can like, and I don't mean you have to like everything and you don't see everything, but if that means you can just like an odd post of mine, or try a product, because these are great products. And if you don't mind spending a bit more on makeup and you're using great brands already, then I challenge you to try this out. Try a product. You will be surprised. So what am I working towards now? I'm a blue presenter. I'm working towards the next level in our company, which is a green elite, and this is where it gets life-changing. So this is where I can work towards finishing my other part-time job and working on this full-time, which is what I want more than anything, because it doesn't feel like work. Every spare second I've got, I'm putting into this business, because I know what will happen and what can happen if I do that. So I'm working really, really super hard to achieve that. I'm bringing women to the business all the time, and it's changing their lives too. So when you're new, when I talk about changing lives, it's changing their confidence. It's giving them pocket money. It's giving them extra treats. Whether that's a manicure once a month, whether that's new clothes for your child or a school trip for your child. It doesn't matter what it is. It's helping. But when you work up further up the company, where I'm up to now, it starts to become big. So I'm seeing the people that are just that 1 or 2 steps in front of me, really changing their lives. They are going on beautiful holidays, getting new cars, and it's not material things. Everyone wants, the best for their life. You can say, oh, it's not about material things, about love. Of course it's about love, but who doesn't want the best for their family? Life is tough now. I want to be able to send my children to university and not let them have the bills racking up, the loans to pay off in the future. And more than anything, I want this now for my mum. My mum is the most selfless person you will ever meet. She's put me first all my life, and now I want to give back to her. So why am I doing this? My why has changed from earning a bit of extra money. I've got that. It's changed from, okay, now I can work from home when I'm feeling poorly. I've got that. I can do that. I'm at the next stage now, and in the not too distant future, I think maybe, I'm guessing, I hope sooner, a year, I will be able to leave my part-time job, because this is earning me as much money as that. So I want to treat my family. I want to go off on that exotic holiday. I want to just go away for that weekend, without even having to think about money or to plan it. I want to give back to the people that have supported me, and that is my main rock, my main support, as well as my husband, has been my mum. She deserves so much more than what she's got right now. She's so hard to treat. She doesn't even know what she wants for Christmas. She wants for nothing, really. She just wants me and her family to be happy and healthy. And she helped me so much when I was poorly. She still helps me now with housework, and she's just there for everything. She's always been such a rock, and has offered me so much support, and I want to give her what she deserves. What that will be, I don't know, because she wants for nothing. But I want to be able to take her off shopping and treat her without having to worry about it. I want to treat her for meals out. I want to make her retirement years comfortable and happy. She's got a lovely little flat, but it isn't her own. I would love more than anything to be able to buy her something that's hers, with a small garden, and just buy her everything that she wants, even though she wants for nothing really. That's more, I want that so much for her. So I hope that's given you more of an insight into what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, how it's nothing spammy, it's not weird, it's not a cult, it's not a pyramid scheme. And yeah, thanks for listening, because this is really long. Thank you.